And just like that, bam, we're live. That was easy. Little scheduling issue. We're still scheduling these on Pacific Standard Time, but I am not in California. So I'm starting the shows an hour earlier all week, I think. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All the shows starting early. What's today? Tuesday? I'm excited for tomorrow, Wednesday. Confirmation hearings. Woo! That's going to be fun. For me, that's like UFC fighting. I'm like that excited. Like I'm willing to leave a TV on in the garage, TV in the living room, work out, watch the confirmation hearings, then go back to the living room. You do like the early start. I think it's smarter. I think it's better for the East Coast people. I think the East Coast people are more my speed too. Maybe I was born on the wrong coast. Can't believe I just said that. Good morning, everyone. Corey, hey. Kenneth, hey. Ernie, hey. Christine, hey. Sorry about the misscheduling this morning. Natalie, hi. Jody Lynn, hey. East Coast loves an early start. Second cup of coffee. Ooh, that one tastes weird. You know when you get some bad water? You know when you can taste the water? I just tasted the water. I don't like that. Chase Bryan, what's up, dude? Good to see you. I haven't checked the news this morning, but last night when I went to bed, the radio, the TV, everything was saying that the winds were going to be crazy last night in Los Angeles, back to like hurricanes type winds. I don't know. My wife's like, oh shit. And I was like, I just think they say that so you'll watch TV. It can't possibly be that bad. But I have not checked. I don't know what happened last night in Los Angeles. Sebi, did you listen to the Mayhem podcast? Lots of good tidbits in it. Their most recent one, which one? I have. The answer is no. I haven't, but I really like their reels. I think those guys, the last two episodes have put out some really funny reels. The Hattie interview on Clydesdale pod was good also. Oh, she went on there again. Another one, Hattie Canyo. I like her. Most recent, give it a listen. All right. Sevon, I paid money for Man on Fire. I hate you. I'm so sorry. That's worse than clickbait. Telling people you're going to review a movie and then not doing it. Maybe we'll still do it. I mean, we haven't even done. I got to reach out to Hiller tonight. Maybe we're going to. I don't know. How am I going to watch? If I'm on the road, how am I going to watch Dexter? Because I watch it through my Apple TV. And if I don't have my Apple TV with me, I guess I have to figure out. I have to go to their website, figure in all my login info or something. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Maybe it's better. Maybe I should just go to the Apple store today, buy an Apple TV and plug it in, because I'm going to be moving around a little bit in the next 3 weeks. Maybe I need to just travel with an Apple TV and plug it in the back of every TV. Cayman Cider, I am not in SoCal. I am in Northern California. It is very, very wet up there right now. Very wet. We've already had a ton of rain this year already. I heard yesterday was amazing beach day, warm up there. Tons of my friends were calling me, telling me how great it is. I shouldn't say tons of my friends, but tons of my acquaintances. Yeah, I'm nowhere near the fires. No, nowhere near. But on Friday, I am supposed to go to Southern California for a couple weeks, and I am curious how that's going to play out. I got so much shit today. I stayed up so late last night digging around. I got so much shit. I've been torn because people I respect have been okay with the whole Mark Zuckerberg thing. Mark, coming around. And I have not been okay with it. And it's not like on a personal level, like like if he was my boy, I would be like, yeah, good job, buddy. You got red pilled, welcome to a little big fat dose of reality. I appreciate you flipping the script. But man, there are some things in there that are, they required vaccines for all their employees to come back to work. I just think that's the worst of the worst. And he gave $400 million to basically the Democratic Party. He donated $400 million. And it was interesting. I read the article about it. I didn't dig too deep because at first they were saying, people were saying he donated $400 million to the Kamala campaign. And then all these fact check websites were saying that's not true. That's not true. But essentially, he donated $400 million to Democratic campaigns through Democratic fundraisers and Democratic causes. I shouldn't say the Democrats' causes. And so I'm okay with them saying he basically donated $400 million to the Kamala campaign. Then he was enforcing injections, and the censorship is still strong. The censorship is just still crazy. My Instagram account is under all sorts of censorship. You're really hung up on people wanting to be safe. I have no idea what you're talking about. Are you talking to someone else? Clock, at best, Zuckerberg is a coward who bent over for the regime at every turn, doing their bidding at our expense. I know forcing people to take drugs to go back to work is just insane to me. It's like Nazi shit. Let me see if I can find the little piece I have on it. What's this little? This says, I mandated everyone at my company to get the shot. I donated $400 million to get Biden elected, but rest assured the whole time I was doing it out of protest. This is just like a meme. I should watch I should watch the Rogan podcast with him. I have a feeling I'm not going to find him very sincere. When I hear him talk, I get kind of like Mr. Beast vibes. Like something about Mr. Beast makes me I would not leave Mr. Beast alone with my kids. Something's not right. I don't know what it is. I'm not getting pedo vibes from Zuck, but it's just like almost like a shark. This may be obvious to some of you, but I was chatting with Suze about this the other day. You could be in a room with someone who starts crying and you can feel it, right? You can be in a room with someone who's angry and you can feel it. And you can be in a room with someone who's happy and you can feel it. But when I was in the room with Taylor and he was doing those 150 pull-up burpees for time, and he's just completely destroyed. You don't feel anything. Like whatever that is, that's not in the emotional world. There's no transfer. Zero transfer of whatever's coming off of them at that point. Like I don't feel it. And so it's nothing like it's nothing like emotion. And I guess maybe that's what it's like when I look at Zuck or the Beast Man. Yeah, they're like almost like they're reptilian. Yeah. Just nothing's coming off of them. I can't really explain it. I wish I could explain it better. And I'm not against people changing. I don't want to hate on people for transformation or be like, fuck you, the damage is done. But I don't I'm not getting Elon vibes from him. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not getting Elon vibes from him. Taylor Self is such an inspiration, especially for someone like me who's doing Sentinel programming. It pushes the Sentinel community to push harder. I got an interesting DM this morning. I don't think this guy will mind if I read it. I was doing a show with the boys, and I was basically saying that the show, I was basically saying Kill Taylor is the best thing in the CrossFit space. And maybe there's 5 best things in the CrossFit space. I'm not saying that it sits alone on the top, but it's definitely the best thing in the CrossFit space. And I was basically saying that if it can't be changed. Like it can't be censored. It can't be turned down. It needs to stay as raw as it is, because that's what it is. And this is what someone wrote to me, who I like a lot, who I read all their DMs, this guy's DMs. Sevan, with respect, you can't seriously say that you would lose followers if you stop saying gaping. There's much more likelihood you have lost followers because of it. referencing the fact that I said, hey, if the show loses its edge, we'll lose a shitload of people. I'm not worried about it because clearly I'm still a viewer and a follower, but you can't seriously suggest that CrossFit should get behind a lot of stuff that comes out of your show, particularly Taylor. And don't get all defensive of him. I don't dislike him. I'm speaking practically and strategically. A company like CrossFit needs to be less offensive and less divisive to get a wider mainstream audience. I just wholeheartedly disagree. I just wholeheartedly disagree. The nature of what CrossFit is, it only has a narrow, I mean, it's for anybody, but it's not for everybody. And I wholeheartedly disagree. I don't think there's any I think the messaging is, I not only do I disagree, I think the opposite is true. I'm not saying you tone down the brutal nature or the high expectations or the negativity. I don't know what he's talking about, negativity. There's no negativity. And once again, people who think this show is negative or anyone in the space is negative, half the time it's not even negative. I don't know what you're looking at. Most of the time it's just funny. It's like saying someone who's crying is negative, or someone who's laughing at someone else is negative. I don't know what how people are processing shit in their head. But John Young is proof you can talk shit without having to graphically describe anal raping someone. Fair. That's fair. Kill Taylor's a great concept, but CrossFit are never going to back your stuff when you give his foul mouth a platform. And what's crazy is they've already reposted twice in the last month his content that he's done on the Sevon podcast. How long before he gets booted from the CAC? Well, that's a fair comment. I don't know. That could happen. And I don't think that would be a bad thing either. The thing is if they booted him from the CAC, that would at least show some firmness of what I'm looking for. I also watched the podcast yesterday. I watched about half of it. Vakey had some guy on who was claiming to be a 15-year affiliate. You guys know Vakey, good dude out of Africa or Australia or something. You guys know that guy? He's got a pretty good YouTube following. Very nice, very cool. He works a lot with Matt Fraser. He's always wearing an HWPO hat. He was interviewing this guy, and this guy was saying, I want me to play the clip for you. What's that guy? I'll play the clip for you. What's Vakey? Vakey. It's with the W? How do you spell his name? Oh. W-Y-K-I-E. Vakey? Oh, Vakey. It's Beth. Vakey Akinwale. Okay, here it is. Let me play this little clip for you here from his podcast. And Vakey's a great guy. Great guy. I don't know how he navigates and stays friends with everyone. He's got magic powers. Okay, here we go.
Glassman, right? That's when we lost it, when he was kicked.
Let me go back 10 seconds. He's talking about the fall of CrossFit.
Right. It's here and there, right? It's chosen sometimes. But one of the most common answers that I got, was Glassman, right? That's when we lost it, when he was kicked out. That was the magic. And there's this huge movement right now, especially post-games last year, of he's our savior. He's the only one who can bring us back to the good old glory days, right? Anyone who thinks that, you've got a real short memory. They weren't the glory days, right? I'm fine with Greg, right? I'm so appreciative of what he created. The guy's got huge balls to do what he did and to go after people he did, like tried to battle Coke, for God's sakes. I'm so appreciative for what he created, but let's not martyr him and pretend that he was perfect, right? Because I was still traveling the world working with box owners when he was in control, and guess what they were complaining about them? Him. Right? Whether you're complaining about him as the leader, right? Because it was incompetent leadership from top to bottom. CrossFit HQ was a
It's so, just imagine saying that. Imagine suggesting that the fastest growing franchise in world history had incompetent leadership. He's going to give you an example in a second. And it's funny because the example he gives of incompetent leadership I see as just amazing leadership. And maybe when I was there, I saw it his way too. But another thing is CrossFit HQ ran like a crazy well-oiled machine from 2006 to 2018. It was a massive output of just events, seminars, media. It was absolutely the most efficient place. I mean, it was a dream company to work at. The staff were completely trusted. People could come and go when they wanted. People were at the office 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. There was always someone there. Even you go in the middle of the night and there'd be someone there. It's crazy that he's saying that because there's upset affiliates. You know, the thing is in my opinion, I don't know what the number is. Let's just pick a number, but 10% of the affiliates should be pissed at Greg at all time. And the fact that Greg would kick affiliates out who didn't toe the line. Like if you were like, hey, fuck you. I don't, like recently I heard about an affiliate who won't put up Greg's, prescription for diet on the wall because they think it's completely unrealistic to ask people to stop eating sugar. Fuck it. Kick them out. Bye-bye. And it's okay. You can still, and I'm not even mad at those people. You're just not on board. Imagine if someone in the Marines was like, hey, if I don't bring my Mickey Mouse sheets to boot camp, I won't be able to sleep at night. And they made an exception for that dude. Sorry. I'm perfectly okay with a handful of the affiliates complaining. I was perfectly okay when it was just Matt Fraser was the only athlete complaining. That was fine. That was cool. He was the champ. I saw all the champs do that. I saw all the champs go through cycles of complaining at some point, however frivolous or important. From OPT all the way to the only one I haven't heard complain yet is James Sprague. He's just one more win away from complaining. Yeah, you take your race car bet. Souza still sleeps in a race car bet. Yeah, that Souza did get kicked out of the Marines for that. Brought his race car bet. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep listening to this guy. But this is the part where he has no idea what he's talking about. So this guy also claims, and I believe him, that he's been to gyms in 53 different countries, which is impressive.
Shit fight. It is a shit fight. I'm rooting for them, but it wasn't magically perfect back in the good old days, right? It was
magically perfect. It was magically perfect. It was magically perfect.
Combative as hell. If you, God forbid, if you said boo about CrossFit, if you weren't towing the party line, if you were lucky, you got a nasty email. If you were unlucky, you got an email saying you're de-affiliated, right?
Yes. Imagine that. So he's complaining that Greg had values and standards. And by the way, he couldn't name a dozen affiliates that happened to. I'm trying, the way he talks and the way I'm talking, you think it was happening every day. But once every 6 months, someone would fucking pop off and they'd get a fucking note. Hey, here's your money back for the year. Maybe even Greg would send their money back for if they were an affiliate for 5 years, all 5 years. Be like, thanks for being here. Bye-bye. And you know what they would all do? Beg to stay and say sorry. If you think that's bad, that's fine. I don't. That's the org I want to be with. I want to be with an org that's value driven, that doesn't stop and pick up the shiny objects, and stays just super duper focused on the mission at hand.
Right. So it wasn't like it was this magical, perfect wonderland when he was in charge. It's just now.
It was until 2018. It was. In 2018, 2009, actually it's 2019, January of 2019. Got rid of Facebook, got rid of Instagram, got rid of the media team. That was just a fucking race to the bottom after that.
Our new boyfriend hasn't been so nice to us, and so we're longing for our old boyfriend again. But he wasn't actually that great either.
Hey, listen, this was the same talk when Greg invented the Open. People and he made it online, and he made people were so pissed. People were so pissed that it went online. But the problem was, and Greg saw it ahead of everyone, and I didn't hear one person agree with him that they like the open being online. But it had to be that way because so many people were signing up that we used to have this thing called sectionals, and we would need like 400 sectionals, 500, 1,000 sectionals, 1,000 sectionals with 200 people at every sectional. How is that going to work? How are the logistics of that going to work? If 200,000 people signed up for the open, like 400,000 people signed up for the open, how are you going to qualify them through in-person events? You would need 1,000 events with 400 people at every event. So there was always people complaining. A large number of people complaining doesn't mean it's right. Everyone's like, enslave the blacks again, enslave the blacks again. That doesn't make it right. I hate beards more and more. My beard? My beard? So I think the show, I think the Kill Taylor show, I think the nature of this podcast, I think just the rawness of it, I think that's where we're at in society. I think that's what makes this special. Does it cross the line? Sure, all the time. All the time. That's an opportunity. That's an opportunity for people to that's an opportunity for people to leave, or people to be, I'm going to give them a pass, or people to be like, hey, I like it when they push the line. I wish they'd push it more. Anyway, it's a good podcast. Guy goes on to say, it's got a little bit of the Craig Ritchie vibe, and the fact that the guy then goes on to say how much he loves Glassman. So I get it. He, there's some, I can't tell if there's just some tension there, like if he's just saying, hey, Greg's not perfect, but I still love him. But those were the glory years, and everything was perfect. And, when the wildebeest cross the savannah, there's some percentage of them don't make it. And Greg always knew that. Greg's goal was never to get everybody. Did you see the recent Rich podcast? He said there's an open invite for Hunter to the Mayhem Classic. Oh, that's cool. That's nice of him. Rich texted me also yesterday and said I could come compete at the Mayhem Classic. So I think the bar is low. All right, we did Zuckerberg. I want to like him, especially since Greg wants to give him a pass, but I just can't. I'm just not. I'm not giving him a pass right now. He needs to. He needs to chill. He needs to get. He needs more UFC. It is interesting that he put Dana White on the board for Meta. A story out of Florida. Here we go.
Fascinating just happened in Florida. Last night in Manatee County, 2 illegal aliens, border invaders, criminals, thugs, whatever we're calling them now, they tried to invade someone's home. The man and his wife were at home, and it just so happens that they believe in the Second Amendment. Let's just say one of the illegals is no longer here with us. Got deleted faster than a teenage boy's browsing history. And guess what? The county sheriff praised them.
I praise this husband for doing what he needed to do to protect his home and protect his family. And if you're going to be that brazen to come into my home, once again, you should expect that you're going to be shot.
We got to clone that guy and just make him everyone's sheriff. Just imagine if this happened in New York or California. The homeowners would be the ones that got arrested. They would be apologizing publicly to the illegals for defending their homes, and they'd be paying reparations. Something really fascinating just happened in Florida.
Isn't that crazy? Wasn't during the BLM riots, there was some guy in D.C. standing on his porch with a shotgun, and he got in all sorts of trouble, even though he didn't shoot it? The country's a trip. In Florida, you break into someone's house, you're sleeping in the middle of the night, they come into your room, you're in there with your wife, you can shoot them, and you're a hero, which is the side of the fence I fall on. In New York, someone kills your boyfriend right in front of you, slits his throat unprovoked, and the people don't want to testify because they think it would be racist to testify. I mean, that is a crazy swath of, I don't know what you want to call it, intellect. Is there anyone in the chat who thinks it's not okay to shoot someone dead who breaks into your bedroom in the middle of the night? I mean, does anyone think it's okay? Does anyone see eye to eye with not wanting to identify someone who killed your spouse right in front of you unprovoked while you're walking down the street because you think it would be racist? Is there anyone who sees the world like that? Why would it be okay to take someone's life over the replaceable property? It's not like that. It's not like that. You're not trading. I think that's a mischaracterization of the situation. You have property. You're sleeping in it. It's yours. It's your cave, right? Just think of it as your cave. And in the middle of the night, someone comes in there. It's not like you're trading for property. It's like, hey, you don't know what they're gonna do, and they've broken some sort of social contract that you don't come onto another man's property into his house where he is with his wife or his kids. It's not that you're mischaracterizing it. It's not like you're sitting at Red Robin and some guy walks by and takes a handful of fries and you shoot him. It's not like that. I don't think Sean was. I think Sean was just playing devil's advocate. I don't think he actually. I think Sean was just throwing that out there. I don't think he disagrees. Maybe I'm wrong. Someone breaks into your home. They could be coming in with intentions to hurt or kill you or your family. Hey, dude, I think that's the only assumption you can make. I think that's the only assumption you can make. I got the piece, just need to practice more so I can defend myself. Completely appropriate in my eyes. Big difference. Big difference. If you're in your house and someone breaks in, someone told me one time that if you ever shoot someone on your property or you ever kill someone, the first thing you're supposed to tell the cops, if you're going to say anything, is I was worried for my life. And maybe that's the difference. Maybe Sean, if someone broke into Sean's house, or he's suggesting there could be a situation where someone breaks into your house and you don't fear for your life. But where my brain goes, if someone breaks in your house in the middle of the night and they come in your room, they have completely bad intentions. I mean, to me, that sounds crazy. That sounds absolutely batshit crazy. I don't know what situation I would have to be in to break into someone's house at night while they're sleeping. Sean would ask him, hey, what's your bench press before he shot him? Fair enough. Send yourself a certified letter saying what you do if someone breaks in. It can help show you had a plan and training, that you weren't bloodthirsty killer. It depends on what you wrote, right? Brian Shuey, don't say anything except that you will cooperate, then get an attorney and don't talk to them until after 2 sleep cycles. Anyway, I like Florida. I think it's perfectly okay. And I love that the sheriff said that. And I think that's strong leadership, and I think that sends a strong psychological message to people there. I know this guy's a controversial character. I know some of you in the chat hate this dude. Some of people are just saying that he's hungry for attention and blah 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 blah. But I haven't seen any of that from him. I haven't looked too much into him. Tommy Robinson. This is going back to what we were talking about yesterday about Islamophobia, arachnophobia. What's it called when you're afraid of heights? What's it called when you're afraid of heights? Oh, well, thank you.
Islamophobic.
There's no such thing as Islamophobia. A phobia is an irrational fear.
Sure.
All the things I talk about, when you pick up the Quran, there's 100 verses in the Quran which incite violence against non-Muslims. There's 4 verses in the Quran that say that Muslims can take non-Muslim women as sexual slaves. Actually, one of those verses say they're blameless. Now, when we see the statistics that we have in the UK, Muslims make up 5% of the UK population. They're responsible for 90% of the convictions of groups of men, young kids.
Did you hear that? They make up 5% of the population. I wonder if he meant Muslim men or just Muslims in general, but they're responsible for 90% of the gang rapes. That was some of the shit that I was looking at last week too. It was crazy. The stat I saw is that they made up 5% of the population. They were responsible for 14% of the rapes, which is still three times as much. He's suggesting 5 and 90.
Why? Why isn't it Sikhs? Why aren't the Jews doing that? Why aren't the Hindus doing that? Why is it the Islamic community? 30% of the men convicted of gang rape of children are called Muhammad. Is
that true? 30% of the children that are gang raped in the UK are called Muhammad? Someone Google that. I'm not doing that right now. I'm too tired this morning. That's where's Pat Lang? Pat, fact check that. That is unreal.
Islam promotes it.
Meaning Islam promotes it or extremist Islam?
Muhammad was an extremist. Muhammad beheaded 600 people in one day. Muhammad women. Muhammad married a 6-year-old when she was 9. When people say about extremism or Islam, there is only Islam. There's not extremist Islam, moderate Islam. There's Islam.
Can you explain the difference between cultural Islam and religious Islam?
Many Muslims are just born with a Muslim identity and they feel like they have to defend it. Yeah.
Okay.
Even when you talk about it, they don't know what they're defending.
Sure.
They don't know everything about the life of Muhammad. They don't know he murdered, he pillaged. They don't know the life of Muhammad, but they're born Muslim. So I'd say they're cultural Muslims.
So are you Islamophobic?
Well, there you go. There you go. Mooney, ask anyone who served in Afghanistan if that's possible. Americans are so coddled, they can't fathom how evil some societies are. I know. You know, a handful of military guys have told me that. They're like, you have no fucking idea how bad it is. This guy is so ignorant. Why? What do you mean? This guy is annoying. Why? What are you guys talking about? What do you mean? I like it. He talks fast. He gets across a lot of information. I don't even know what rubber grips are. Rubber grips are banned from the games. Who gives a shit? They shouldn't even allow any grips. Yeah, there's a cultural problem there. If those numbers are true. No one in the chat saying those numbers aren't true. The UK is a trip. I thought California was bad. This place is falling apart. Look at this. British police capture offensive stickers. It's I don't know what's offensive about it. It's I don't know if it's offensive because it's a caricature of a black guy. Is that what that is? Drinking a beer as a sticker? This is nuts. Look at this shit.
You can film me, Mr. Thompson, no problem. All I'm doing is removing what has been reported as an offensive sticker. Okay? And then I'll give you the stickers. Okay? As you can see, it's undamaged. And you can have it back. It's not a problem.
So there's no damage to the vehicle?
No damage to the stickers. No damage to the
This is a cop taking what are supposed to be offensive stickers off a Volkswagen bus. This is because it was reported it's offensive. You can do that? Just report shit as offensive and the cops come? No wonder Craig Ritchie's such a cuck. This is nuts. This society has completely lost its shit.
I tried to ask you to do it. And we're doing this because what we don't want to do, Mr. Thompson, is to prosecute you.
Prosecute me, fella.
Public order.
Prosecute me.
Well,
first of all, I would have never have looked at that and thought it was offensive.
Prosecute me.
No.
I think you got damn right liberty to tell you the truth, fella.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
We've tried to discuss.
You do?
I
think you got damn right liberty, mate.
Unfortunately,
I think you got damn right liberty.
Well, that is
You're touching my property.
Yeah.
Well, you're causing offence in the public place.
So, Sean, I don't think that you have the right to shoot that guy, but I do think you have the right to punch him in the face. I do think you have the right to punch him in the face.
That's what's inside of the gentleman's van. This is a gentleman videoing us removing them undamaged from his van. Right. I'm more than happy, sir, if you want to take these into your property and add them to your collection, that is fine. Okay? I will give you that opportunity. However, if they are placed back...
This is nuts. Yeah, Hitler finally conquered the UK. Yeah, that's what it seems like here.
On the vehicle, then we will remove them permanently and they will be entered into evidence if we are looking to prosecute you. Do you understand that? Do you understand?
This is a country where Muslims are raping girls at an extraordinary rate, and the cops are worried about offensive stickers on cars.
That's what I'm saying. So is that what you're
going to... Have a nice day, fella. Isn't back in? Have a nice day.
You've just...
I can't believe that's a real place. Yeah, I don't want to be in NATO with those guys. I don't trust any. I don't trust that country at all. I don't want to be in NATO with them. I don't want to have anything to do with those guys. I want to circle their island with fucking aircraft carriers and get ready to free their people. They arrested a guy there for sharing someone else's post, and someone got offended by the share. Yeah, I saw that. What does this thing get offended by? It's crazy. This is the influence of a Marxist globalist communism. The cop's just doing his job, just like the ones loading the trains in 1940. So you can start to piece it together, right? If they are censoring stickers on people's cars, and they're so worried about offending people that they're allowing the United Kingdom, England, is allowing girls to get raped by the thousands, little girls, so that they don't offend the Islamic community, the Pakis. Oh, yeah, I heard about this too. Retroactive speech laws. This shit is crazy. They can arrest you for things you said years ago. What the fuck is going on over there? There's no difference than Biden giving Soros Medal of Freedom meant to promote division and unrest. You are biting hook, line, and sinker. I don't know what you're talking about, but I agree with the Soros thing. That's a good line, Barry. Be careful. It appears that tea thins the skin. Man. The UK. Holy shit. What are they going to do? It only gets crazier. You ready? You ready for some more just fucking United Kingdom bashing? This one's to be honest with you, I don't even really know how to think about this one. I guess it's okay to marry your first cousins in the UK. I don't know. Someone's going to have to explain this to me. Here we go.
The NHS has said the cultural practice of having sex and children with your first cousins is just like white women having babies over the age of 34.
So what they're suggesting is that women over the age of 34, that there's some risk of having babies that late in your life, like somehow the baby would come out, fucked up. And those risks are tantamount to the risks of fucking your first cousin.
Well, no, it's not, is it? The NHS is too afraid of offending a certain culture to speak up about a health epidemic among children based on a barbaric, sickening and outdated practice that has no place in British society. The report states, it is important to mention that just like a cousin marriage is a cultural practice in Asian/British Pakistani heritage, resulting in increasing risk factors for congenital anomalies, so too is choosing to give birth at or after age 34 in white British women/couples.
Listen, you can't use a cultural practice as a backstop for your logic. What about the cultural practice of pedophilia that the Iraqis have? Oh, it's their cultural practice to marry 8-year-old girls. What about the cultural practice that a lot of Muslims have? Gang raping white girls because Allah told them to. How do you... You can't use cultural practice as the backstop or the basis of your argument that anything can go if it's culturally okay. What about the cultural practice of the KKK of hanging black people? What the fuck is going on here? What is going on in the United Kingdom? My mom had 2 younger brothers over the age of 34, and they were born perfectly fine and healthy. Maybe it's the jab causing these issues. Yeah, and the fact that so many women and men are unhealthy as they get older now too. Yeah, all my kids were born with my wife being over the age of 34. I think the twins were born when she was in her 40s.
This is largely a result of choosing lifestyles embedded in liberal values, such as preferring jobs, careers, bodily fitness, and individualism over giving birth before the age 34. How dare they put having sex with your first cousin, and presumably coming from a very long line of first cousins, on a par with a white British woman in her early 30s delaying motherhood for a year so she can get on in her career?
It's weird. I had never thought of that part before. Okay, so you fuck your first cousin and you have a kid. But if you've been doing that for 5 generations... Sevon, it's not just the UK. The inmates are running the asylum all over the developed world. Like if you I truly am open to someone being like, hey, you got it twisted. It's actually better if you fuck your first cousins. It keeps the gene pool tight. Those people are smarter, healthier, more robust, more higher IQ, larger brains, harder workers, fewer diseases. Like if you want to point that out, like I'm game. Let's see it. But to defend something that it's a cultural practice, what the fuck? That's not even an argument. That's the explanation I give people when they ask why I have a long pinky nail.
It is a disgusting thing to say. There's no way we'd be sweeping any other health issue like this under the carpet, would we? I mean, you're not even allowed to advertise cheese on the London Underground, for goodness sake, in case someone looks at a block of Wensleydale and can't physically restrain themselves from going into M&S and gorging on it until they give themselves kidney failure.
You're not allowed to advertise cheese? Is that true on the subway in the UK? Is that really true? Can't advertise cheese on London subway. Is that really true? Yes, Transport for London, which manages the London Underground, has banned certain cheese advertisements deemed to be unhealthy. Don't trust Google AI. All right.
But you can advertise on the NHS for nurses who specialise in inbreeding. Welcome to modern Britain, everybody. The woke progressive arc of liberal inclusivity and multiculturalism has resulted in incest nurses. Close relative marriage neonatal nurses can earn about 50 grand a year picking up the pieces. So people predominantly from Pakistani heritage can continue churning out kids with inbreeding problems and expecting the taxpayer to pay the bill. Now, I can't help but wonder.
Man, the Packies are just taking a hit in the news this news cycle, huh? Rape little kids, marry their cousins.
Whether if this wasn't such a culturally and racially charged topic, perhaps the problem might have been handled differently. Have we been too afraid of causing offence? The NHS has...
It's not like I was like, hey, I'm going to go out of my way and bash the UK this morning. This is just what's going on over there. This weekend, UFC's having a massive card, huge fight. They always have massive cards, although last week's card was maybe one of the weakest cards in the history of the company. This guy, Money Moicano, is fighting on the main card. I want to say he's the third or fourth fight. He's fighting Beneil Dariush, who's amazing. This is going to be an amazing fight. But after Money Moicano won his last fight, listen to what he says. It's a little hard to hear. I might have to play it a few times, but listen to what he says. Fuck Macron, fuck all globalists. He's in France. He just knocked out their best UFC fighter, and he said, fuck Macron and fuck the globalists. That was earlier, maybe 6 months ago. This guy's great. Fuck Macron and fuck the globalists. He says that in Paris at a huge UFC fight after knocking out their best fighter.
I want my brother wants money.
And in France, that's France's best UFC fighter, and supposedly he was completely unbeatable. And this Brazilian dude fighting out of the United States, Money Moicano, went over there and just beat the shit out of him.
Hey, watch your mouth, kid. Bitcoin is 89K, okay? Don't push Money Moicano too much.
I'm not gonna stop until I have it down. But I cannot afford to lose.
That's him fighting Calvin Kattar, another just insanely great fighter out of the East Coast of the U.S.
I heard Moicano cry after the fight. You know who else cried? Your fucking mother. When I was laying the pipe, my friend. So shut the fuck up. Level.
Yep, I love that guy. Good mom jokes. Anyway, he's fighting this weekend. A lot of people don't know who he is. He's a complete savage. I absolutely love his politics. I heard Macron's threatening to sue Candace Owens for claiming his wife is a man. Can you imagine Dallin Pepper winning the CrossFit Games, going up there, they hand him the mic, and he's like, fuck the globalists. Viva la Trump. Juan Guerrero, Moicano is the best. God, he's so good. He gave that when he stood in front of that sold out stadium in France earlier this year, that wasn't all he said. I mean, he went so hard against the globalist. It was crazy. He's got a great podcast too. A lot of great clips coming out of there. Jody Lynn, I love the UFC. We need more athletes with their fuck you energy. Totally. It's a good time to be alive, isn't it? So fun. And you know, maybe the woke period's over. Maybe it's over.
Friend who lives in California, whose house burned, this is my one woke friend. I love this woman dearly, but she's woke. And amazingly, we've maintained our friendship. We kind of just don't talk about these subjects much, but she's woke. And she's like, MK, everyone I know is ready to vote Republican. She's like, everyone I know, all of her woke friends, all of her Dem friends. She was like, we're all talking about how soon we can get Republican leadership into these offices. I mean, that is saying something. My friend who lives in California.
So, you know, I've told the story about Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks. She's a reporter. She was walking her dog. Her dog took a shit. She bent over to pick up her dog shit in LA, and some homeless guy with a hard dick rubbed his dick between her cheeks and like simulated having fucking doggy style with her, while one of his other homeless friends sat and watched and laughed. And that was it. She flipped the script. That made her a Trump supporter. And for some reason, I guess this fire might do the same. People are like, I don't like my house being burned down. Do you want to hear the budgets for the do you want to hear what's going on with LA Fire Department budgets? It's nuts. You know, Los Angeles spends the budget for the LA Fire Department is 65% of what the budget is for homeless in LA. It's like $800 million for fire and $1.3 billion for homeless people. Think about that. Drug addicts and crooks. When I say homeless people, always convert it to drug addicts and crooks because that's what they are. They've prioritized doing drugs over having shelter, and their primary vocation is stealing your shit. And then there's a whole economy around it. $1.3 billion. $1 billion of those dollars goes to paying people who just walk around and do nothing, libtards who think that they're helping homeless people. You want to help homeless people? Let them live in your backyard. That's what I did. I had 40 homeless people live in my backyard for a year. Get to know them. See what they do. See all the bikes they bring to your backyard and steal, all the meth they do, all the tents, all the shit they steal and bring to your house and hide in your backyard. This is the lady. In January of 2024, PG&E, that's Pacific Gas and Electric. Those are the people who we every month I send them a check for $600 to pay for my electricity. I send PG&E $600 a month. In January of 2024, Pacific Gas and Electric, that's our California like power and gas company, was found responsible for the 2021 California wildfires due to PG&E power lines. So we had this big fire north of me, about 100 miles, and I forget what it was called, the fire. But I think I want to say like 5,000 homes or something burned down in 2021 up there. And the state sued PG&E, and PG&E went bankrupt. They said it was their fault because it was windy, and PG&E should have turned off the power grid when it was that windy, and they didn't. So the lines, when they went down, started the fires. It says in May of 2024, and this lady worked there at the time. She worked at PG&E when this happened. In May of 2024, Janice Quinones left Pacific Gas and Electric to become the CEO of the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. She's the highest paid city official at $750,000 a year. Mayor Karen Bass recommended her. So think about that. You work at PG&E. They're sued into oblivion for burning down 5,000 homes in Northern California. And then you pivot, and your next job is to be in charge of water and power in the largest city in the United States, maybe the richest city in the world. How do people like that get fucking hired? What do you put on your resume? My last job, I fucking tanked one of the largest power companies in the world, and now I'm coming. But listen, you're not even going to be shocked. Wait till you see this. You're going to be blown away and yet not blown away. This is the part that's completely unbelievable. What do you think her number one goal is? What do you think her fucking number one goal is? Anyone want to guess before this commercial is over? What do you think her number one goal is? Yep. Brady got it.
To $1,600.
Brady got it.
Only
Here we go. $750,000 a year she gets
powered
paid.
by equity, and I know that it's been really important for the DWP to put an equity lens on everything.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the number one thing that attracted me to this role.
They put an equity lens on everything. That's the number one thing that attracted her to the role. $750,000 a year in charge of water and power in Los Angeles.
It's important to me that everything we do, it's with an equity lens and social justice and making sure that we right the wrongs that we've done in the past from an infrastructure perspective, and that we involve the community in that process.
We right the wrongs from the past. You can't even fucking make this shit up. She gets paid $750,000 a year. Her last job, she did such a poor job that the Pacific Gas and Electric went fucking bankrupt. They went bankrupt because the state sued them. She comes to LA. She's in charge of power and water. And her number one thing is to right the wrongs through an equity lens. This is all the shit that's being taught to your kids in schools. I don't care. You can tell me 1,000 times it doesn't happen at your school. You're wrong. 87% of all teachers at public schools, this is them. This is what they teach. This is exactly how it is. And you think you're going to stop your kids from getting brainwashed? No, you're not. This is it right here. That's it. Hate the Jews, hate the white people, defend the rapist Pakistanis, make everything about class, race. Speaking of cucks, I don't even know how to process this next thing. The LA Times, when Gavin Newsom got recalled in the state of California and it went up for a vote, a black guy named Larry Elder was running. He got he passed around, he collected 2 million signatures. Larry Elder did. Great guy, really smart guy. He ran. They did a recall and he ran against Gavin Newsom and lost, even though he got 2 million signatures. It's really hard to believe. And the LA Times, which is a crazy liberal rag, basically said Larry Elder is a black man, a white man in blackface. They tried to delegitimize him as a black man because he's a conservative. And now the LA Times owner says endorsing Karen Bass, the mayor of LA, who's clearly a DEI pick, a mistake due to incompetence. The media mogul has stepped up his criticism of the California political establishment. You Los Angeles Times owner Dr. Patrick Soon-Young is turning down the base. Dr. Soon-Young called his paper's endorsement of embattled Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass a mistake during an appearance on the Two-Way podcast Monday. The LA Times endorsed Bass during the 2022 election. You didn't just endorse her. You lied about Larry Elder. He endorsed this thing. This thing that was making 15 trips a year to fucking Cuba in her youth to learn about communism. 24 people dead as of last night, over 40,000 acres burned. You want to see this guy? This guy's a trip. This guy's like a caricature of a human being. The owner of the LA Times, he is so trippy. If you haven't seen him, brace yourself. He's a trip. Okay, here we go.
Your team of reporters brought you this, that the reservoir was offline and empty. What was your response?
That it's so crazy that we have leaders that are reactive rather than proactive. I mean, it really emphasizes what I tweeted yesterday about issues of competence. And I think that's when we're really concerned. We don't elect people with great operational competence. There's really no surprise that we would have fires. In fact, we lived through a fire just a couple of years ago. So the idea that, for example, we don't create fire breaks, we actually reduce the budget. We actually don't inspect the hydrants. Apparently there's we'll be doing this investigation of a valve that actually could have actually increased the pressure, the absence of water in the reservoirs. Now you hear all these excuses, and I just heard this excuse about disinformation. I mean, I think that's outrageous when you have thousands of acres burning and 10 people are dead, so at least. So yes, I think the policies were misplaced. We have to ask our questions, where are we spending the money and why? And what is the sort of planning and the logistics skill sets of actually preparing ahead?
Another Zuckerberg, flipping the script. Zuckerberg. I don't believe a fucking word he said. He looks like a turtle. All of the real Matthew, LA has to be a massive social experiment. Yeah, I mean, the whole earth is a massive social experiment. This one's just crazy failure. He's talking about how he won't tolerate, or he doesn't like the misinformation or disinformation being blamed for the fires. It's like, dude, that's the primary line of your newspaper, the LA Times, for the last 4 years. Yeah, now that it affects them. Yeah, exactly. These people stand for nothing. Vittorio, exactly. You think that's a toupee? You think that's a toupee he's wearing?
For this.
I think that was a toupee. I can't believe that dude owns the LA Times. I'm going to read you some budget numbers here. Ready? The 2023-24 fiscal year Los Angeles budget of $837 million for the Los Angeles Fire Department, which was roughly 65% the size of the homeless budget of $1.3 billion. Mayor Karen Bass slashed the fire department's budget last year while prioritizing spending on the city's homeless. Now, I'm going to tell you some numbers that you are not. I don't know. We need Pat Lang here to fact check him because I know he's not going to believe it. You ready for this? From 2020 to 2023, listen carefully, from 2020 to 2023, the number of fires started by homeless people that the LA Fire Department went out and put out doubled. You will never be able to guess how many fires homeless people started and the LA Fire Department put out in 2023. Now think, there's 365 days in a year. So if you're going to guess the LA Fire Department went out and put out 365 fires, that means they put out one fire started by a homeless person every single day of the year. You ready for the number? 13,900 fires started by homeless people in 2023, double the amount from 2020. 38 fires a day. For every fire, I saw this stat, for every 21 fires that the LA Police Department responded to in 2023, for every 21 fires they responded to, 20 were started by homeless people. Pat Lang, those are your friends. I blame you. You nurtured them. I'll take a little bit of responsibility. Just think about that. They spent 24. I know you can't believe it. I know. Oh, you can believe it. Listen, just think about that. $24 billion spent on taking care of homeless people. Whatever that. I mean, and that's nothing. That basically it's just a giant thievery ring. Not only they're the homeless people, thieves and drug addicts, but all the people who work in the fucking taking care of homeless business, from the fucking Red Cross to the Blue Army to all those organizations are just fucking scams. They just have DEI hires running these companies, making $400,000 a year, pouring fucking dirty shit water into a cup, feeding them, giving them clean needles and a place to sleep. It's a giant fucking money laundering fucking operation. It's everyone who works in that space, it's just they're 1 degree of separation from being homeless themselves. So we subsidize these drug addicts and criminals with $24 billion in California a year. And they started the fire. I'm in Wad Zombie. I'm in LA. I don't know if the number is right. It is right. Quiet. But they do start multiple fires every day at a minimum. Pat, let me tell you something. I know it's right because Pat's already Googled it and saw it, and he's like, oh, shit. Josh K., what's up, dude? Thank you. Thanks for your support. If you're not a member, you're a douche. If you are a member, you're cool. No homeostasis. No middle ground. What is going to be the response if the fire was started by a homeless dude? Well, for sure was started by a homeless guy. And the response will be another $50 billion this year. I ride my bike up and down the concrete rivers, burned out camps under the overpasses is a common sight. Heidi Kroom. Sorry, Sebi. Souza has me on Total Money Makeover, which didn't include my membership until I'm debt free. Fair enough. Fair enough. They lose millions of the homeless budget every year. No, I don't know what you mean by lose. They lose all of it. The whole entire thing is a fucking scam. They lose all 24 billion. There's if you're following the story too, I mean, there's just endless footage of people starting fires now in LA. I mean, you can just go on Instagram and find it. It's fucking nuts. There's so many people with blow torches, people lighting mattresses on fire. People. I saw yesterday someone burn a van down. This article is from May of 2024. May. There were 13,909 homeless fires in Los Angeles in 2023, almost double the number of such fires in 2020, according to LAFD data. These are just fires that get reported to them. How many do you think there really are? Twice as many? 10 times as many. If these are, just think about that. If these are the only fires that are reported, how many are there? I'm going to say at least 100 times that. I'm going to say that there's 1.3 million fires started by homeless people a year, and it's only fucking 1% of them that gets reported and out of hand. I mean, that's 38 fires a day. That's got to just consume all of the fire department's time. Thank you. No such thing as homeless people, just drug addicts. Thank you. Drug addicts and criminals. Yeah, and these same people just want to see the world burn. That's true also. That's true also. Look at this. Here, this is in Los Angeles on Melrose. It's a guy like just walks up to a van and lights it on fire. Just some dude walking down the street with a cigarette lighter. Oh shit, he put something in the gas tank. It's crazy. All liberal policies. All liberal policies. You tell me, Pat. Do homeless people start fires in other states too? How come those states don't burn? Oh yeah, because it rains everywhere else and it's not 100-mile-an-hour winds. And you don't have libtards running the state. I was about to show you another clip of that water chief. Think the water chief, the water chief makes $750,000. I saw this the other day. I don't know if this is true either, but this is fascinating. This is from Laura Horvat's country. Hungarian's fascinating birth rate experiment. Listen to this. This is pretty wild.
Have done some interesting stuff. If you're a couple that marries before the age of 30, you get a large loan. For every child you have, 25% of the loan is written off. So if you have 4 children, the loan is completely written off. They're spending about 5% of GDP on this. Very expensive. But if you eliminated stupid and costly climate commitment, lots of foreign aid to countries who hate us, and the money we spend on battery farming foreign nationals in social housing and asylum accommodation, we might be able to make it, and it would be a much more sound investment. They've also said to women, if you have children, for each child you have, 25% of income tax will be knocked off for life. So that means that by the time that you have raised your kids and grown up, if you're running a little business on the side, or you decide to go work full time, you're never going to pay income tax again. So you get a second lease on life the moment your kids have left to go to university and had children of their own. It has upticked the birth rate very slightly. Pretty much everywhere in the world is now sub-replacement birth rate, other than some countries in Africa.
I feel like I saw somewhere that it upticked by 0.1%.
It was 0.2. But the encouraging metrics for the long term is that divorces have halved, abortions have more than halved, marriages have more than doubled. And that was during lockdown, where every single other country in Europe, all of those metrics were flatlining and decreasing. The Hungarians have done some interesting stuff. If you're a couple that marry...
Dude. Incentivize people to stay. If you're a married couple and you stay married, for every kid you have, your income tax goes down 25%. Fuck, man. That's fascinating. Wait, what is this person saying? Right-wingers love socialism if it aligns with nationalism. Interesting. I need to think about that. Let me see this guy's page. Of course, it's a troll. Why are there so many trolls on the internet? You ever get tired of the trolls? Not because they're mean or fucked up, but they just kind of they clutter everything.
We did not bleep this out, but what this gentleman says in this video is spot on. Tony on X. Again, viewer discretion advised, but tell me he's wrong.
Naming of the Gulf of Mexico into the Gulf of America, that chess move has just gone right over everybody's heads. It's chess, people. Trump is playing chess. The potato head in chief, that senile old fuck that's up for retirement, put a ban on offshore drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. Easy workaround, we rename it the Gulf of America. We ain't drilling for oil in the Gulf of Mexico. We're drilling for oil in the Gulf of America, bitches. That's how that one fucking works. No more fucking around. People thought fucking Trump was rough his first go around. This time, there's no more fucking around. We don't give a flying fuck what names the liberals call us. This is called getting shit done and fixing fucking problems. True. And anybody saying like, oh, you can't just take the the fuck we can't just take the Panama Canal. We built the motherfucker.
Oh.
Jimmy Carter gave that shit away. I did not know what a piece of shit Jimmy Carter was and how he mistreated the farmers. And that dude just fucked up all the way around. And that's why he got annihilated. Like, oh my God, I had no idea. Everybody just called him a dumb peanut farmer. So yeah, we ain't buying shit. We ain't buying Greenland. We ain't buying the Panama Canal. And we sure as fuck ain't buying Canada. We're taking back the Panama Canal. We are going to offer freedom to the people of Greenland and the people of Canada with lower taxes, actual rights. That's the fucking deal. That's why we don't need to buy it. So the rename.
All right. I'm down. I'm down. Maybe the UK wants to jump on board too. Maybe we take the UK and let all the liberals move to Canada. Like if you live in the UK and you want to just stay like in a socialist, fucking communist, totalitarian fucking victim state, you go to Canada. We just take the UK. Was that Tank Reeves? God, I wish that was Tank Reeves. I wish he was that cool. Ask OJ how that worked out for him with the Heisman. OJ died, man. Toast. That story's over. Day one is going to be so fun. Oh, this week's going to be fun. The confirmation hearings are going to be a blast. If you want to watch some fun shit, watch those. They're going to be wild. Shit's going to get nasty. Liz Collins been on the show a bunch. She produced and directed the movie The Fall of Minneapolis. She also wrote the book. The book's absolutely amazing. The movie's absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen that yet, you're crazy. Go watch that, The Fall of Minneapolis.
Four former and current Minneapolis police officers come forward to say this knee on the neck restraint was trained by MPD during the time Derek Chauvin worked as a Minneapolis police officer and also during the time of his trial in 2021. 14 of these officers go so far as to accuse the now assistant police chief, Katie Blackwell, of committing perjury during Derek Chauvin's trial.
Is this a trained technique that's by the Minneapolis Police Department?
I don't know what kind of improvised position that is. So that's not what we train.
We've included in this brief picture after picture of this, in fact, technique being used during Minneapolis police training. We also have a photo of Katie Blackwell herself that appears. appeared in a Minneapolis police yearbook dating back to 2014, and she is in fact putting her knee on a suspect's what appears to be the upper back or neck area. She has been since promoted twice. She was at the time of her testimony. She was in charge of training for the Minneapolis Police Department, but you're right. She's basically the second in command.
Second in command at the Minneapolis Police Department testified that she didn't recognize the restraint Derek Chauvin was using and poo-pooed it, and yet she used that in the yearbook, in the police department's yearbook. You can see her using the technique. Fuck, I hope she goes to jail.
Now at the Minneapolis Police Department, 34 former and current Minneapolis police officers come forward to say this knee on the neck restraint was trained by.
It's crazy that Chauvin is still there. Sorry, I forgot that I pulled myself off. I thought I was going to jump up and get a cup of coffee, and then I didn't. Thanks for telling me. I forgot that I was pulled off. God, being a cop is crazy. Poor Derek Chauvin. It's nuts. I really hope Trump fucking lets him go. The first responders have to deal with so much fucking crazy shit. Look at this. Look at this. This is inside of a fucking nightclub. Can you imagine if you owned a nightclub and someone OD'd and the EMTs came in and you didn't turn off the music and turn on the lights? Isn't that just treating people how you'd want to be treated? Look at this. This is in New Orleans.
We gonna be alright, y'all. We gonna be alright. We gotta turn up the homie, y'all. We gonna be alright. I gotta keep it real.
There's girls on their knees twerking while the EMTs or the ambulance drivers, I don't know what you call those people, are helping someone out who OD'd. You can't turn down the music for a second, turn the lights on. No one gives a fuck. That guy doesn't even move out of the way. He just stands there with his drink.
We gonna be alright, y'all. We gonna be alright.
And the DJ saying, "We're gonna be all right, though. We're gonna be all right, though."
We gotta turn up the homie, y'all. We gonna be alright.
I guess it's better than marrying 6-year-old girls and gang raping people. I guess it's all relative. You know where that didn't happen? That didn't happen in the Palisades. I guess on the other spectrum, these people don't fucking value life at all. I guess on the other spectrum, you have fucking these people crying because they lost their fucking baby photos or their kids' artwork. Like, who gives a fuck? What a mess. Where are the normal people at? Just one. If you're normal, contact me. If you're not normal, don't contact me. I only want to be around normal people. So done. For a while, I was on the Travis Bajan bandwagon. I don't want to be around any normal people. I know enough normal people. Now I'm going back. I'm swinging back the other way. Oh, shut up, David. You sound like an 8th grader who just took a fucking philosophy class. Shut the fuck up.
You're not allowed to speak out and tell the truth in Los Angeles because LA Mayor Karen Bass has just fired Los Angeles Fire Department.
So this isn't true. This got proven not true right here. She didn't get fired? Yeah, I looked into this. She didn't get fired. Well, I mean, there's not yet. Do I have any comedy in here? Jesus, where's my comedy? Meanwhile, the morons who watch football are still doing dumb shit like this. I want to send this lady to Africa.
You are the first black head coach to go to a national championship game in college football. Just hearing that response alone, how much does this mean to you?
You know, I've said this before. I don't ever want to take attention away from the team. It is an honor, and I hope all coaches, minorities, black, Asian, white, it doesn't matter, great people continue to get opportunities to lead young men like this. But this ain't about me. This is about us. And we're going to celebrate what we've done because it's something special.
Because
now suck this dick. Crazy. Good dude. What's that guy's name? He's a good dude. Based Notre Dame coach destroys woke reporter. I don't know if he destroyed her. What's that guy's name? Hey, you know, it's crazy. Listen to this again. Listen to this again. Listen to what he says again. Listen. I just realized this. Listen.
Because you are the first black head coach to go to a national championship game in college football.
Now, what do you think if we 23andMe'd that guy, Marcus Freeman? What do you think? That's a Jew name, by the way, Freeman. Jew last name. It's a conspiracy theory. Jews are taking over. Guess what mix he is if we 23andMe him? No, I hear you, Pat. Is it woke to report a fact? No. It's not woke to report a fact. It's just the fact that we're sensitive to that. Like go ahead and put that in the local black newspaper. Put that. You know what I mean? And like I've said before, okay, I'll give it a pass once. I never want to hear it again. He's the first one. Okay, fine. I'll give it one pass. I never want to hear it again. But guess what makeup this guy is? Guess what he is? Armenian Jew? No. Good guess, though, Matt Burns. Guess what he is? His mom is Korean. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Caucasian. Yes. And what's the other thing? He's one more thing. Half Judy, half Jerome. Yes. This guy is three things. He's Chinese. He's white. And he's black. That's it. Those are and listen to this. I just realized this. Listen to this. Oh yeah, did you? And then some black dude leaned over. Congratulations. Not now, dude. He's doing a fucking report interview.
Just hearing that response alone, how much does this mean to you?
Hey, what if that was a bowl of watermelon in front of him instead of oranges? What if it was the watermelon bowl?
You know, I've said this before.
I do want to say this. This guy, it rains pussy on this guy, by the way. I mean, just rains.
I don't ever want to take attention away from the team. It is an honor, and I hope all coaches, minorities, black, Asian, white.
Black, Asian, white. He just named himself. That's what he is. He's black and he's Asian and he's white. I think he's more Asian than black. I mean, look at his eyes. He got the squinty eyes. Look at him. Look at him right there. Cover his forehead. That's an Asian dude with a tan.
Will continue to get opportunities to lead.
Is he the first Asian dude ever to college football to win whatever the fuck he won? The fucking, what bowl is this? Orange Bowl? Tangerine Bowl? KFC Bowl? I wonder if he's black where it counts. Oh, you think he got the Asian dick and the fucking black dude body? Wow. Oh, he is. Brianna says he's the first Asian. Yeah. That's crazy. I didn't even know Asians were allowed anywhere near professional sports, except for like the token baseball players who come from Japan and dominate. That would suck. Yeah. The Panda Express Bowl. Solid. You know how I know I'm sexist? Because it always blows me away when girls have great lines like that. Maybe Reddit's right. Maybe I am misogynistic, sexist. Maybe I have preconceived notions. That's a great line. Panda Express Bowl. Maybe that's the winner for today. You want a bag of holy balls. Oh, Asians are great at racket sports. You know what's crazy though? Asians are great at everything, but they don't ever seem to be like at the very top. You know what I mean? It's always like the number 2 guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like the whole orchestra is like all fucking the violin, the hardest instrument. It's all Asians, but the guy in the number 1 chair is like some fucking old white dude. Tiger Woods, Asian and black. I don't know. Michael Chang. I mean. Oh, they dominate women's golf. I didn't even know there was women's golf. The only women's golf I know are those Instagram accounts where the chicks like they're just she's golfing and her tits are falling out of her shirt. Her skirt's too short. Anyway, what's the guy's name? Marcus Freeman. I'm gonna say he's a Jew. Oh, didn't I do a bit on that recently where you couldn't find any dudes with a black first name and a Jewish last name, that you couldn't find that combination? Do you remember that? Like I was looking for like a Lamont Rosenberg. There it is, dude. Marcus Freeman. Marcus is definitely a black dude's name. Freeman's completely Jewed up to the gills. Menorah. I'm going to look that up real quick. Is Marcus Freeman Jewish? That's going to blow your guys' mind. You're going to be like, oh, Sevon isn't stupid. Marcus Freeman. Jewish. I'll put in Jewish. Maybe Google doesn't like Jew. No, Marcus Freeman is not Jewish. In 2022, he converted to Catholicism. What was he before? Holy shit, that dude has 6 kids. In 2010, Marcus, wow, he has the shortest wiki page ever. Oh, it just doesn't. He's an American football coach, born in 1986. I think he is Jewish. I don't fucking believe the internet. David, I don't believe everything I see on the internet. He is a Jew. Marcus Freeman changed his religion before reinstating. Let's see what he was. He had a remarkable season in 2024 with an 11-1 record. Where's the thing about his religion? Raised in both the Christian and Korean church traditions. Freeman hasn't shied away from the faith aspect of his workplace since his arrival in 2021, although he publicly identifies as Christian. Freeman's wife, Joanna, and her 6 children are all Catholic. He's 36. He's been keen to incorporate the religion into his pregame rituals, helping restore the deep-rooted values of Notre Dame and bringing back to what it once was. All right. All right. Deeply religious man. Notre Dame players and coaches will be attending one more pregame mass a week today when they gear up for their huge national championship. For me, the mindset is really being calm before the storm. You can get so riled up before the game and hours before the game. I didn't want that. As we move forward, I want to make sure those guys are calm, and part of that is making sure we spend some time in reflection in a mass. I don't know what a mass is. Is that where like someone preaches to you about God? Sevon, are you at VED Bath and Beyond? Background seeming awfully homey and warm. No, I'm at a Airbnb. I can't tell you how dope this place is that Greg got me. It is so sick. It's not like big or anything, but it's just, I really like different lighting options. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different lighting options in this room, different like switches where you can light the room differently. And the kitchen and the dining room and the living room are all one big massive room. And then it's got a beautiful laundry facility, a place to park my car in the garage, and then 3 bedrooms, all with king size beds. I mean, it's just, and then a little backyard. And it's right down the street from his fucking insane house. Pretty happy. I'm supposed to leave on Friday to go to LA. I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to take it chill. Maybe I'll stay an extra day. Maybe I'll leave a day early. Maybe I'll go home. Who knows? It's a good life.
About how many firefighters were fired because they didn't take the COVID vaccine.
After nearly 15 years of serving with the LA Fire Department, he was terminated for refusing to take the COVID vaccine without applying for a religious or medical exemption.
113 LA City firefighters have been suspended without pay for defying the city's vaccine mandate. In November, firefighters who had not submitted their vaccination status or requested an exemption were informed they would face suspension and termination.
Everybody in this state of feel-good land, of Newsom land, believes that if they were in Germany in 1935, they'd be pushing against the Nazis. They'd go to try to kill Hitler. I suggest if you were involved in firing that fireman, you would have been a prison guard in 1930 Germany. And you need everybody that reported their neighbors or who took an issue with somebody who was just asking questions or for standing up for their civil liberties. You must examine yourself and realize you would be a prison guard, not somebody fighting against the Nazis.
Check out this video.
It's so good to hear Dr. Drew talk like this. He's former libtard, dude. Doctor. Had his eyes fucking ripped open. Greg's buddies with that dude. Been communicating with him. Are you kidding me, Pat? It's exactly that. It's exactly that. How is it not that, Pat? You demanded your society in order to go to the supermarket, in order to go to school, in order to keep your job, to take a government-mandated drug that's killed thousands and thousands of people. Pat, there's something called the VAERS report, VAERS. It's a vaccine injury report database. I think Harvard runs it. No, Harvard doesn't run it. The U.S. government runs it. And Harvard did a report on it before the COVID vaccine came out. And that they said they were very concerned about VAERS because it was a voluntary reporting system. And they thought that it only got about 1% to 10% of the actual injuries. And the reason why is doctors were not paid. Doctors were not paid to fill out the VAERS report. They were told that they had to, but they weren't paid for their time to fill out the report. So that they felt that it was probably it could be anywhere from 10 to 100 times more injuries than were being reported on the VAERS report. I personally think that that's low. I think it's like 1,000 times. I know 24 people who were injured by the vaccine who didn't report it or didn't do anything about it. They're just like, fuck, my heart's kind of weird. And then after the COVID vaccine, and Harvard reported that study. And then after the COVID vaccine came out, they flipped the script and they started saying that VAERS was unreliable because it was voluntary and they thought that anyone had access to it, so it had been manipulated. They just changed the story. So if you can't see the comparison between guards and train drivers and George Soros, who was going around taking property from the Jews during Nazi Germany, you have a huge disconnect, dude. You take people's job away, ability to purchase food, take their kids out of the school system because they won't take a government mandated drug that hadn't been tested and was killing people. You got a blind spot, buddy. It's bad, dude. It's bad. It's really bad. Firemen of 15 years losing their jobs because they won't take the drug, and then hiring people based on their sexual preference, proclivities, and their and the color of their skin. It's bad, dude. It's really bad. Here is this oh, we already looked at the part of Justin. We looked at the video of Justin Trudeau looks like Fidel Castro, right? I saw another video on that. That must be picking up some steam. Here's another one. Here, Pat. This one's right up your alley too. This is a senator from Delaware, who's a tranny. This is a tranny senator from Delaware reading to little kids. Delaware's transgender state senator Tim Sarah McBride read a book about transitioning to little kids.
With her family to the doctor, and the doctor said that she's a girl and everyone should see her and treat her like a girl, right? Which is to say that they should call her Jazz, and they should treat her with respect and be nice to her. But can I ask you one more question? So that journey that she had from people thinking she was a boy and the fact that Jazz knew she was a girl to her parents and her friends accepting her as the girl that she is, that journey is called being transgender.
She's explaining transgender to 5-year-olds. David, this is where you write greatest country in the world. Isolated incident. Yeah. Exactly. Holy shit. Can you imagine introducing the topic of fucking changing your sex to 5-year-olds? Delaware, home of our U.S. president. Keep sending your kids to school. Keep sending them to school. And hey, it's not just the senator. There's someone in their car listening to this show right now, and their kid heard it in the back, and then they're going to go to school and they're going to tell their friends about it. I'll take the blame for that. I'll take the blame for that.
They said, we have no water. I said, do you have a drought? No, we don't have a drought. I said, why don't you have no water? Because the water isn't allowed to flow down. It's got a natural flow from Canada all the way up north. Water, more water than they could ever use. And in order to protect a tiny little fish, the water up north gets routed into the Pacific Ocean. Millions and millions of gallons of water gets poured. I could have water for all of that land. Water for your forests. You know, your forests are dry as a bone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dangerous.
That water could be routed. You know, you could have everything. Oh, not only dangerous, billions of dollars a year they spend on forest fires. And, you know, there's a case with the environment. They're not allowed to rake their forests because you're not allowed to touch it. And all they have to do is clean their forest, meaning rake it up, get rid of the leaves, get rid of, you know, leaves that are sitting there for 5 years. And
We'll certainly get rid of the dead fall.
and get rid of the trees that are fallen.
Yeah.
That, you know, they said, we have no.
God, Trump is coming. My 5-year-old wanted to be a knight for a solid week. Should I allow him to beat others with his wooden shield and sword? Yes. A few more days. Oh, yeah, you missed all the UK bashing. There was some solid UK bashing. Sorry you missed it, Lee. Lee Whiteman. All right. Enjoy the confirmation hearings. Saturday or Friday, it looks like we're going to do a live stream of someone joining the NorCal Classic qualifier, someone you guys all love. You're going to be excited to see this person do the workout. Also on Thursday morning, I'm planning on having Ben Alderman and Blair Morrison on. They are the creators of the NorCal Classic. I suspect there'll be 1,000 athletes there. That qualifier has started. Love you guys. Sorry, I just realized I didn't have my phone with me or put up the phone number today. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my phone. It's over there charging, the work phone. I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you guys. Today's Tuesday. Matt Souza has a show at 11 a.m. today. And I've still been reaching out to Kenny Kane. I got to get him on. I'd like to do one more. I'd like to hear his story. Raise a few more $1,000 for the CrossFit gyms in LA. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.